Welcome back, coaches. Another episode from Teams of Men of our We Read It So You Can Act On It series here in our YouTube channel. As always, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, share our channel out with your coaching network as we try to provide as many of our long-form videos, even some shorts, on information and scientific studies, research, important articles, findings being done by experts in the field that we can digest for you because we know how busy your time is, but we'll digest it for you and share it back on our channels with action steps you can take with the male athletes in your program. As a reminder, Teams of Men exists to empower coaches of male athletes, to enlighten their players to the potential of a reimagined manhood, and in doing so, go about the work of changing the world for the better. Because when we put men out from our programs, whether that's basketball, football, baseball, soccer, whether that's middle school, all the way through Power 5 partners that we have, when we put men out from those programs who have been versed in emotional fluency, who have been versed in healthy relationship skills, who can build authentic relationships, and who go out and practice a positive masculinity or reimagine manhood, we're going to create better spaces across the globe for all the people we love. Teams of Men, we read it so you can act on it. We're back. All right, to start things off here, I first came across this. It was shared, I believe, by Michael Flood, Professor Michael Flood on Twitter, and it was from the USC Rossier School of Education, Rossier. In the headline, and I'll cut away to it here, was landmark study shows that transcendent thinking may grow teens' brains over time. And then when I got to that article, it sent me directly to the report itself, which is titled in its entirety, Diverse Adolescents' Transcendent Thinking Predicts Young Adult Psychosocial Outcomes via Brain Network and Development. And in plain speak, right? That's my job. Hey, Kip, thanks for the scientific terminology. My job is to help you activate that. It's a remarkable 5-year study where experts Rebecca J.M. Gottlieb, Xiaofei Yang, and Mary Helen Imordino Yang have discovered how crucial it is for teenagers, especially young men, to think deeply about the world around them and their place in it. This isn't just about academics. It's about understanding the bigger picture of life, ethics, and society. The study that these experts did followed 65 diverse teenagers and found that those who regularly engaged in this kind of deep thinking not only developed stronger connections within their brains, but also grew into adults who feel good about themselves and have fulfilling relationships. Essentially, when our young athletes learn to look beyond just the game and we help them think critically about the world and their actions, this study shows that we're setting them up for successful, happy adulthood. The research sheds light on the incredible impact of encouraging young men in your program to think deeply and broadly about their lives and their place in the world, and highlights the vital role that we've always talked about coaches and parents can play in guiding them through the journey of life. So I'm excited to share 4 main takeaways from this 5-year study that will give you some direct quotes from the research itself, but also action steps coaches can take based upon this study. No, you don't have to go read the whole thing. We already did it for you. And here's how you can get to work with it right now with your program and the sport you coach with male athletes. Takeaway number 1. And let's do the quote first. The quote from the study itself says, transcendent thinking predicted future increases in the coordination of 2 key brain networks in the teenagers. The default mode network, which is involved in reflective, autobiographical, and freeform thinking, and the executive control network involved in effortful, focused thinking. So the takeaway for coaches watching this video, no matter your sport, as long as you've got male athletes, takeaway number 1 matters to you. Encouraging deep reflection and discussion on complex social issues can significantly enhance adolescents' emotional intelligence and capacity for empathy. Now, when I just said that, emotional intelligence, emotional fluency, emotional agility. How often have you heard me talk about the importance of developing that for young men? How often have we heard throughout current events in the news cycle, men that are not versed in emotional intelligence, where their rage and their lack of ability to process emotions takes them normally into harmful actions, and empathy. Capacity for empathy from this takeaway, meaning we can build that skill set in our young men simply by creating intentional space to deeply dive complex social issues. And when you hear complex social issues, coach, don't let that go just to politics. Complex social issues can include misogyny, what it is, where it's happening, how to prevent it as a man. Complex social issues can involve the sexual assault prevention, the gender violence prevention we encourage you to do with your young men. Complex social issues can involve analyzing what's happened with famous male athletes currently, with famous male celebrities and maybe errors in their behavior. Those can be complex social issues. We just need you to set the table and create space for discussions on things past your game, your team's game. You can even keep it in your framework. You can even be like, hey, I'm a football coach, but don't talk about your team. Talk about the NFL. Talk about D1 college football. Talk about these. You can take it in all kinds of different directions. We just need you, as the report says, transcendent thinking, when we force them to deep dive social complex issues and their role in this world, has a better chance to enhance their emotional intelligence and empathy that they have going forward, which is what we would all want for our players. We're on number 2 now for We Read It and You Can Act on It. This quote is, this neural development predicted late adolescence identity development, which predicted young adult self-linking and relationship satisfaction, basically in a developmental cascade. So the takeaway for coaches of male athletes for here, number 2, engaging in transcendent thinking supports identity development, contributing to a strong sense of self and improved relationship satisfaction. How often do you talk about to parents, to boosters, to your players themselves, hey, going through our program to become who we need to be, we all need to be very clear in who we are individually. Who are you as a person? What makes you what makes you tick? Who are you as a player? Where do you fit in here? The more we build self-awareness, the better off we're going to be on the floor, on the field, on the pitch, and the more self-awareness will benefit them going forward. And this study shows that in order to help you build this cascading, knocking all these dominoes over in a good way of late adolescence identity development, young adult identity development, all those things are interconnected to you giving them space to deep dive things that are not readily easy to understand. Like, what is my place in this thing that's happening in the world? How does it affect me? How does it affect my community? How does it affect my future? All those, you're building self-awareness skills that we know are vital. Number 3 takeaway, we read it so you can act on it, on this 5-year study we're sharing with you that really emphasizes the importance of providing space for deep thinking on complex issues for your male athletes, being a benefit for them going forward in life. The quote is a little wordy, little scientific-y. Potentially, proclivities to expend effort on complex thinking may come to play a more prominent role. And what I took away for that, for you guys to activate with your male athletes, is as a coaching staff, essentially, it's highlighting the importance of encouraging complex thought processes as a valuable skill that you can grow. So basically, your sport team can be an instrumental platform for societal change because you're engaging athletes in just the exercise of complex thinking and finding self-awareness and where I fit in not the ills of the world, but the globe itself, my global community. By doing that in your sports program, by using your platform to mandate this thinking by your players in intentional and repetitive sessions, you can build fluency in gender equality. You can build conversational knowledge and know-how and violence prevention that can help them enter different spaces and participate in change. That doesn't mean you have to create these experts in those. But if you give them the fluency and the reps and the ability to express themselves and know when they should be in front of societal change, when they should be a participant, when they should sit back and support those that are better qualified. All those are reps in creating young men able to go out and contribute to a push forward to better in the world. Number 4, coach, last thing from our We Read It So You Can Act on It share today. The quote specifically is, importantly, in the research's study, the socioeconomic and ethnically diverse urban sample set that they used, IQ and demographics did not explain the findings, meaning just the background education level or the demographics of where players were coming in, of where teenagers in the study were coming into, didn't necessarily equate to, because their previous life experience included XYZ, that's why taught discussions on complex social thinking is helping them go forward in life. This other kid won't have that background, so it wouldn't help him. That's wrong. The study's showing you that the diversity of your locker room, all of them, okay, are set up and will benefit from intentional, repeated thinking and discussions on complex social issues. Civically minded educational approaches that allow athletes to engage with complex perspectives and emotions can have lasting developmental benefits no matter who's in your team room. And most of us in the 21st century, we're embracing and loving the fact that we have diverse groups. We have diverse programs, diverse staffs, not just racially, but socioeconomically, religiously, sexual orientation. all those things within our room, that diversity is awesome. We need to champion it. And this study showing that the diversity will be a springboard for everyone in your team room that engages with complex emotions, complex perspectives, learning and unlearning on different social issues. They all will springboard forward toward a better adult experience if they have these reps. And that's it, Coach. 4 takeaways from our latest We Read It So You Can Act On It series. As we wrap up, huge thanks to Rebecca J.M. Gottlieb, Xiaofei Yang, and Mary Helen Mordino Yang for this groundbreaking study and their 5 years of dedication to pulling it off. Reminder, what you just heard, the study opens up new pathways for us as coaches and mentors to understand and support the holistic development of our young athletes that are in our programs. It's not just about improving performance on the field, which we're all very good at and will continue to be. It's about nurturing well-rounded, emotionally intelligent, and socially aware individuals. The research that we shared today and the actionable takeaways should give you powerful tools to help guide your male athletes not only towards being better players, but being better people by engaging them in discussions on complex issues. They don't need to know the answer. You don't need to know the answer. You don't have to solve the ills of the world in your discussions. You just need to give them space to grapple with things outside of the game, to talk and share as a group and practice discourse in a public setting on things that matter and finding their space in the world and where they can be of help or where they will need help. All those, as according to the study, will help set them up for a huge level of self-awareness, which we know is a key factor going forward to send out great husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, friends, future mentors in the world. Teams of Men, We Read It So You Can Act On It. As always, like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.